Wow, so welcome. You imagine we are here on the 31st of December 2020. I mean, if you haven't already started feeling the energies, the energies are really powerfully strong today. Because it literally is like if you've ever witnessed when the tributary of the river joins the ocean, that particular section, it sometimes feels murky, and in no time at all, it's like you have this murkiness, as the silt of the river and stuff is entering the ocean, and it just assimilates, and it just flows into the ebb and flow of the tides. And it's a little bit like that today's day has been up to now. One of the biggest gifts you could give yourself today, if you haven't already done it, complete the work on disruptions. You can just read the notes that Justin took and shared from that session that we did. And it's about distraction, really, turning a distraction, doing that work. When you get to the end of that work, not only do you become empowered by it, it becomes like a disruptor that has catapulted you forward. The interesting thing is, at some point, it hasn't happened yet for me here in Dubai, but at some point, the energies shift, and the energies switch from the 2020 energies to a predominance of the flowing energies. So as a reminder, and you'll probably hear me say this quite a bit over the next 4 weeks, as a reminder, when I first talked about 2020, I talked about this is the year which has been written about, talked about in all the scriptures, all forms of religious texts, wisdom texts from different communities, different parts of the world. And they've talked about 2020 is the year where humanity takes off. And it was like, and I talked about it as a baggage-free flight. So there's a strong invitation to shed our old baggage. And I'd also talked about that if you don't shed your baggage, you become baggage. So the divine will take over and, clear you out. And you'll either choose to continue the journey or you'll choose not to. And the divine has opened up a big stadium for souls who choose to depart. And all the elements in full might will be unleashing themselves so that the power and energy of those elements are anchored on the planet for us to use as we embark into the next phase of our evolution. Little did we know that it would play out in the way it has played out. And this little invisible thing, would be used first as a device of command and control, and will also become a very powerful vessel of fulfillment of the divine plan, which enables fear to transmutate into a new state. And a new state of which lands humans and humanity into an inner knowing, where they know that not only will they survive, they will thrive. Humanity starts to understand, if they give themselves the time, which is really awarded by this little crown creature, and it's going to. We looked at how long it's going to play out, and it was like, it'll play out as long as it needs to. And when its job is done, its hold and its grip will be greatly diminished. And literally one after the other, as we graduate, as we cross the threshold, and so many of us are going to cross the threshold at midnight as the calendar turns today. And the calendar turning point is midnight Manhattan time. So, we will all be celebrating. Sydney's already celebrated its New Year celebrations. So Sydney is in 2021. India will be following very soon. Thailand is getting there very fast, followed by India, and then we'll follow Dubai will, and Europe, and so on. And the turning point, where literally it is, you will feel the difference. We feel what we feel, and then it's going to be flowing in flow. And then it's literally like, okay, you've emerged into your flow. Little did we realize, and that's really what this whole year has been about, when they talked about this is the year that humanity takes off, where each human recognizes, steps into, and becomes comfortable in their own flow. And as human by human by human, we stepped, more and more and more of us started connecting within ourselves. We took away our obsessiveness of fixing things. The obsession with fixing nature, fixing water, fixing the ocean, fixing the air, fixing. We took away we took our eye off the ball of fixing, and we started grappling for, getting some semblance of normality within us. And as we did that, nature stepped forward, utilizing the powers of all the elements that were anchored on the planet. Fire, to destroy that which was no longer needed, transmutate it into a state that enabled nature, ancient species, to start reclaiming themselves. Water, where that was required, to bring flow back. Air was already playing its part through the corona virus. And Earth decided to be this amazing mother to us all as we went through our individual journeys of returning to our centers. The Earth just opened herself up to receive anything that was dropped off, that was consciously released. We didn't even need to invoke it. We were like in a state of constant grounding without necessarily even doing it. And then each one of us, as we stepped into beyond meditation took the have to, must do, need to out, and started flicking the switch on of the innate vibration of being human, which is love. And as more and more and more of us consistently, every week, we started allowing our soul presence to step forward and acknowledge itself as a human, receive itself as a human and accept itself as a human. The human form itself that each one of us was possessing was lifted up and lifted up and lifted up until we all started having experiences of becoming one with the soul. Even though it may not have lasted a long time, but we each have had that cellular memory anchored in our beings. Now, that was a very powerful turning point when our human form started having those bouts of experiences of being one with the soul. How it showed up for you would have been as you trance out. And so many of you have shared how you go into a very deep state of trance. And I see it on the screen also from time to time. And that may be for 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. However long that happens, at least those moments you're one with the soul presence. And what that did was it brought in the characteristics that the soul possesses into our conscious awareness. The characteristics of that the soul possesses are that it is indestructible. It is, it's here to expand its repertoire of experiences. Soul has a knowingness. It wants for nothing. It is whole and complete anyway. And it is limitless in terms of the access that it has to the resources that it can bring in. It is eternal. And it only lives by its agenda. It's occupying our human body now. And when it feels that its job is done, it goes. So all of those characteristics of I am the one, that is limitless, that is omnipresent, that can expand as much as I want to. And I'm indestructible. And as we did more of the beyond meditation, that realization that we are the creator. We are one with the creator and we are the creator itself. And the piece that I want us to anchor today is an understanding turned into wisdom, turned into not an understanding, turned into knowledge, turned into wisdom, turned into a knowingness that if we are the creator, then the creator is the one that has created this world, which is so rich in variety and so perfect in its imperfections. But we too have that prowess. And all I want to do today is end the year with you getting that you have the prowess and the powers of the creator. You possess that. And you can tap into it, you can dip into it, you can call into it, you can utilize it as you allow yourself to place yourself in the flowing current of 2021. So if you feel out of flow, invoke that superpower of yours, of the creator. So that's what I want to anchor today. I want each one of us to really get that cellular memory of what it feels like when you are in a state of knowing. And what what does that journey from data to information to knowledge to wisdom to knowing feels like? What do those steps feel like? And I want you to experience that, as a knowing, as opposed to mentally making notes. This feels like this feels like that. Because 2021, given that the predominant energy of 2021 is flowing in flow, all it does is it calls you to only keep your finger in the pulse of you in your flow. People ask me, well, how do I know what flow feels like? And the easiest response that I have for that is the yummy yucky test. If you have yumminess throughout, there is no yuckiness. And yuckiness is not just mental. It could also be physical. If you've got pain somewhere or discomfort somewhere physically, it isn't because you are hurt there. Yes, that is so, but there is something deeper that is at play. And you can, without having to work through that, you can literally rise, take that big step forward, like in your stride. That's the metaphor that you're using. And as you do that, taking that big step forward, you give yourself permission to find your flow. And as you take that step forward, like a physical step forward, you just mentally make a note, I unconditionally accept what is. And once you take that step forward, then if you wish to get into the fine finesse of fine tuning, whatever it is that might be causing that a bit of distraction, you can go ahead and use the processes that you've already learned. There are some easy access routes that you can add, which are pathways to you finding your yumminess. And one is a very simple breath pattern, the 9-4-6 breath that we do. Sometimes when we feel we are out of flow, it's often because our mind is running. It's running faster than the rest of us has caught up. And then if you start trying to, get this mind to calm down, you start chasing the mind and you start running behind something which is only about survival. It is important, but it's not the one that is driving your show. It is not the one that is going to keep you in flow by itself. It is a very important member of the three musketeers that we all have: the mind, the heart, and the gut. The 9-4-6 breath is a very easy pathway. However you're feeling, get yourself into a rhythm of breaking your pattern and doing the 9-4-6 breath. The other access point is that unconditional acceptance. Another pathway is just that physical movement of standing up, like you're standing tall, and taking that big step forward, like you're in your stride. And of course, so much of this material, the journeys that we've been on throughout, are available on YouTube. So you can go into any of those. We will be tidying them up into playlists. So we already have, but in the last set of playlists has become very, very long. So we will be breaking that up so that you can access those for different uses. So if 2020 is about humanity taking off and so much of our baggage has been released, and many of us who've been here doing this work that has been playing out 4 days a week for many months now, the Beyond Meditation sessions as well as the sessions on Fridays, and so many of you who've been on the journey into miracles, you've all had a head start in terms of being baggage free for a while. So even if little baggages come up, it's so easy to just let go of it. The miracle journey is you have access to a much deeper body of work that has enabled you to become quite a powerful holographic presence, like a vector of influence in your own right. And you touch and inspire and impact so many beings across the planet with that miracle vibe, which is a knowingness that when your heart sings, there is a miracle here. And it's just a matter of finding what that is. So having said that, I'm going to go straight into sharing what is the biggest gift of 2020 for you. And I will do that with as many of you as I possibly can. And we will then end with a very short and a very potent human vibe attunement. So I have to work the technology in a slightly different way. Hi, Dea. The gift of 2020 for you. The gift of 2020 for you is the gift of finding comfort in your presence. So as you step into 2021, and if you feel that you are out of flow or any form of yuckiness happens, tap into the gift of 2020, which is step into your presence. Literally, that's all that is there for you to do. And you will be in your flow. You already are comfortable being flown. So 2021 has got various slipstreams that we will come up with. And there's one that begins on the 5th of March. So we have between now and the 5th of March to really get comfortable with flowing in our flow. So just really practice what it feels like being in your presence. Develop a deeper awareness of that, dear. The gift of 2020 I can't see everyone in one go. Okay. The gift of 2020 for you, Vibha, is an undertone that has been strengthened in 2020. And it's an undertone of knowing that we shall thrive. So even, this is what you have developed, like really mastered, that knowingness from within that we shall thrive. And it's this thriving instinct that is going to keep you in your flow. There will be moments from time to time, that there are people around you that are not necessarily at the vibe or attunement of you that may get drawn to making survival decisions. How you leverage this gift of 2020 for you is to remain anchored in we shall thrive. Bring it from an undertone to a very powerful knowingness at a conscious level. And how you can accentuate that in the few hours that we have left as we make the switch from 2020 to 2021 is to just go for it in a like a voracious way. Make a list of all the evidence that you have garnered and gathered during 2020 of where thriving occurred, where it looked like survival was threatened, and what happened was thriving. What happened was thriving. Thriving, well, how do you know whether you're thriving or surviving? In thriving, you start firing on all cylinders. So literally create a segment, and I know you have guests here. It's fine. When I finish this, I'll take over the guests. And you just take that 15, 20 minutes and make your list of the thriving experiences that you have had throughout this year. They are deeper, they are more profound, they are more grounded, they are more expansive than you first envisioned. So literally power yourself up with it. That's the gift of 2020 that you are taking forward. Sorry. I'm trying to be clever with this technology. And Rupa, the gift of 2020 for you that you are taking forward, that you can leverage as you calibrate yourself into flowing in flow, is the gift of beauty. And beauty is being anchored in our truth. When we are anchored in our truth, we become full of beauty. Beautiful is about be you. And you have had at least 6 very specific moments, no more than 6. So to declutter, if you're coming up with tons and tons of these moments, there are 6 very potent ones that have occurred in 2020 that gave you the experience of you in your truth. Be you, and you become full of the beauty that you are. So connect with those 6 moments. And like I said to Vibha, as you think about those moments, even if your mind goes, I can't think of anything, do a 9-4-6 breath. and allow a recognition of these 6 potent moments to come from your gut. One of those moments was when you actually came to my place and we talked about unsaid communications. That is one of those 6 moments. So now you have 5 to look for. And you already know the gift of that moment that supported you to be in your truth was an understanding that one unsaid communication results in 100 unfulfilled expectations. And there are 5 other such very powerful, potent revelations. And thank you for showing up. And really you showed up for you, which is why this very important gift has come together and it has been anchored. Elaine, the gift of 2020 for you is the uncovering of your legacy. The legacy that you brought into this human form with the intention of having it unfold through you. And that reconnection to that legacy and the courage with which you were with ease, joy, and grace chose to take it forward, that is the gift of 2020 for you. So remaining plugged in and connected to unfolding of this legacy in the form of a resolve that flows with flow without thinking about the 2021 energies, but allowing yourself to remain anchored, not in a rigid way, but in a flowing way to your legacy. That is going to be the key challenge that you will have in 2021. And the gift is the fact that you actually have a legacy that you are going to work with. So it's really connecting to what it feels like being in flow as your legacy unfolds. You will go through many moments where it will feel like, well, I don't know what to do next. And it'll often come in and around the slipstream times. And all there is to do is to step into the magic of knowing that your legacy has been uncovered fully. And the fact that it has been uncovered fully, your conscious mind may not get exactly how it's going to be implemented. Your higher self knows. And it's only going to be a matter, the slipstreams will all be about connecting the dots, removing the clutter, and allowing yourself to be carried to a magical, new, surprising place. We will work together on this, Elaine, because your legacy, as it unfolds, has a very important message, gift for so many humans. Not everyone will partake in the legacy, but they will be impacted by it. Hello, Kathleen. The gift of 2020 for you is childlike wonder. Reconnecting to a childlike wonder. You will, throughout 2021, be operating from your vibrational age, the frequency of your vibrational age. And you will feel that. You will feel as if your body is changing. The vitality, the quality of that vitality is shifting. That wonderment that you so contributed to the world through your role in Star Wars and Pixar films. That wonderment that got corporatized has literally burst open, and there'll be more and more and more bursting. It's like, when you have that bubble blowing machine, you blow one bubble and it often has many other bubbles that it by itself starts to throw out there, and each bubble has got these amazing lights, textures, and there's a bubble within a bubble. It's all that kind of stuff that you are going to become so connected with. And it's in this wonderment that you will discover your gig on the planet. And that will give rise to a surge of vitality, where ease, joy, and grace will be your constant companions. And that's the gift that's coming from 2020. Sonia, the gift of 2020 for you, and this is literally like, should you wish to receive it, it is your choice, and you have until midnight Manhattan time to make that choice. The gift of 2020 to you is the gift of, it's a gift of letting go. And it's letting go of attachment to the how. And it is attachment to the how for that next phase of your journey. It showed up many times, ways in which that how could be accomplished, that what your intention is could be accomplished. And it was not going to happen in the way you had envisioned, but you didn't quite grab it and run with it. You allowed yourself to stay in the dialogue of, I'm not very clear about this, not very clear about this. Well, if the gift of 2020 is the gift of, and it literally is like your mission impossible, should you choose to take it up, which is release the attachment to the how. There's enough evidence. So just like I said to Vibha and to others, take the time between now, you've got a few hours. You don't have to sit there and write it, but at least allow your mind to think it. There will be very specific moments of evidence that will show you that there was an opportunity to achieve what you wanted to achieve always in a different way to how you thought it could be done. 2021 is a doing year for you. So just literally relinquish the focus on being. Let the being flow. In doing is where you will find your flow. And it'll have its challenges, Sonia, doing by not necessarily knowing exactly how to go about it, and then releasing the attachment to the how, can pose its own challenges. You just have to attempt it. You can say, okay, this week, I'm going to do this and see what emerges. Then add another week to it, and then add another week. Because you have worked through the details of so many different ways, so much, that being attached to any one of them stifles the other. And it will not be the one way or two ways, but it is actually going to come from your basket of ways that you already have worked through. Okay? So get comfortable with being in flow and allow yourself to literally step into this current of flowing that 2021 brings. Oops. So Janice, the gift of 2020 for you, it's a gift of unconditional caring. And in 2020, you literally connected with that, the vibe of unconditional caring. And as you stepped into that vibe of unconditional caring, cellular memories of what it feels like, being providing that unconditional caring has been locked in and anchored. And you are to turn that on yourself in the first quarter between, between now and when the calendar turns, until about the 14th of February, just really turn that unconditional caring into you. Because by the 14th of February, it's time for you to really get into you. You be into you. And there is some pretty interesting romantic interludes that are going to emerge. And the trigger for that is you getting to a point by Valentine's Day of you being into you. And that's going to come from really leveraging what has been anchored very solidly, which is unconditional caring, the vibe of unconditional caring, and applying it to you without compromise. So, David, the gift of 2020 for you is the gift of finding your voice again. And it is in the expression through your voice where you will find your flow. And you will discover the majestic magnificence of you flowing in flow through your voice. The world is waiting. It's getting impatient. There is a vibrational quality, there is a frequency, there's a nano frequency. So much of work that is being played out across the planet on our nanocells through the vaccines. There's a nanocellular awareness that is rising, and we require as many things that can actually resonate at that nanocellular frequency such that our cells can uplift themselves at a nanocellular level. Nanocellular is DNA, RNA, that's where it is, and your voice is the voice for that. And you've not been one for activism in a traditional sense. So, and if there is any remnants of that between now and the calendar turns, use the steps of dismantling distractions to release any remnants of any form of, activism type thoughts that might be there in your field. I'm picking up a few. Some of them are yours, some of them are not yours. They just happen to come from, you know, so much activity around this traditional form of activism that coalesces around the United Nations area every year when hundreds of thousands of people gather there. So there's some pieces that you've picked up, so take that time. Thank you. Hi, Mary. Your throw matches my earrings. So, the gift of 2020 for you, Mary, is that gift of finally that emotional distress digestion that has taken place during 2020 that was associated with the originator of the work that you have now transmutated into biodynamic medicine. Some of that emotional distress, that you've done a lot of work on it, so a lot of it was already digested, except it was there at different layers, in your gut. So it may feel quite emotional today. Today may be an emotional experience. And all you are to be is you know what to do there. It's like you have an automatic voice stethoscope that is energetically, making its moves for you to know when that final bit of digestion has taken place. And you will experience that unleashment. That was like a shackle that was so hidden, you know. And that the gift of 2020 is that it has been shaken out of its place. The shackle is no more. And it's just that final piece that is going to get digested and you will be free, unleashed. And then it's all about flowing in your flow. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hanging in there. And it's showtime 2021 for you. You're not the one that's getting the audience, that's being brought by others. You're just going to show up and perform your act. And you are the leading act. Suzanne? The gift of 2020 for you is, it's a gift of discovery. It's a discovery of something very, very deep that makes the human mind tick. You've been working with Gene Keys, you have your own understanding of systems and structures, and how they connect. And you have a very, the other gift of 2020 is a very deep camaraderie with different elements of nature. So it's almost like that gift of discovery is created, an understanding which in early 2021, it will be like your own discovery of the golden mean ratio, which is so simple and it shows up everywhere. So between now and as the calendar turns, midnight Manhattan time, you may want to do a few bouts of this beyond meditation, human vibe attunement, where every time you do it, you go into a very deep state of 30, 40 minutes of silence. And you don't worry about whether your mind gets it or not. Just allow that discovery to land in your field. And then when you come out of it, give yourself permission to bring it into your conscious awareness when you are ready to receive it. And journal. After each session, just take a few moments and journal. Sometimes a word might come out, a sentence might come out, and other times you will just be profusely journaling. Just make the most, of really receiving that gift. Now, doing this very conscious act of activating your understanding and receiving of this gift will keep that cycle going. And that's why I'm saying, whatever plans you have, you may need to disrupt those so that you can utilize this. And this moment was not available before now. Because the energies are such, like literally, the tributary of the river of 2020 has reached the ocean. And that's why I've taken the Beyond Meditation in this direction today. So make the most of it, Suzanne. And you're in exactly the right place in the world, energetically, to be able to do this work. I am not keeping track of the time right now, so I have no idea whether we are over 40 minutes or not. But I have to keep going for at least 5 more people. So here we go. Hello, Sean. The gift of 2020 for you is the gift of your rhythm. You know what you in your flow feels like. You know what you in your flow sounds like. You know what you in your flow, how it impacts others. And what I'm inviting you to do between now and the calendar turns is to capture those juicy, yummy, potent moments. Not all of them were pleasurable, where you experience this knowingness in action. And then there are 1 or 2 of those where you knew what you had to do and you didn't do it. So you felt the reverse experience, that scale of yuckiness that is anchored in your body. Making sure that you also connect with that is equally important as you connecting to the richness of the yumminess. When you are flowing in flow. Because 2021 is an emergence of Sean 3.0. Oh my God, yummy. I received. Hello, Rakesh. Wherever you are, you're bringing in the energy of Spain here. And the gift of 2020 is the gift of your innate vivaciousness, which you have ignored up to this point in time. There's a new relationship on the horizon. There's a new partnership. There's a new companionship that is, there, that's exactly as you have ordered, some consciously and some unconsciously. The gift of 2020 is that reconnection to your own vivaciousness. So there is nothing to not fully express it. Like literally, like the, that vivaciousness with which the flamenco dancers come out there and give their performance. It's like that. You can, of course, learn flamenco dancing, but there's an inner knowingness about you in that space. And it has frightened you in the past to show up fully like that. 2020 has anchored it, and what will give you access to that on an ongoing basis, like if you are to have, a place like to recharge your vivaciousness battery, what's the plug point for that? It's children, working with children, and allowing yourself to create a game where you learn from them. It's the children become the teacher's game, that sort of stuff will just reconnect you in such a loving, ease, joy, and grace way. So if there's anything that I would say to you for you to do between now and as the calendar turns, which is midnight Manhattan time, is make a note of what that has felt like. There have been moments throughout 2020, and some of them are as simple as you looking in the mirror. Some of them are as simple as you just, stepping out of your house or putting on a particular dress. It may seem frivolous, but it isn't. There are particular moments. It's not every time you do it. There are particular moments where you're connected to that yummy vivaciousness of you. And just acknowledge those. And that'll anchor that cellular memory in you. Hi, Olga. Thank you for bringing in, it's a very powerful energy of the nature spirits from Siberia that you presence wherever you go. I know you're not from there, but you have actually had many lifetimes there. And you've had many lifetimes there in the form of nature spirits themselves. So the gift of 2020 for you, Olga, is the gift of invoking the healer that is you. And there's a very unique brand of healing that emerges through you. 2020 has surfaced that several times. So just allow yourself, to notice. Even if you just noticed 4 or 5 times where you've got that remembrance, oh, wow, I did that healing. Or that's all that is required. And as you recognize that before the calendar turns, you are actually, bringing into conscious awareness a remembrance of what it feels like being in your flow. And then you can work with that. The first quarter of next year is going to be a very important recalibration of a proposition that you bring out into the world, for which you will be very handsomely rewarded. And even if it feels like, I don't know what she's talking about, allow yourself to connect to that healer part in the next few hours and allow the flowing and unraveling to take place. Thank you, Olga, for showing up. Thank you. Tejasvi, the gift of 2020 is a gift of completion. It's a gift of completion. It's a gift of completion of a very powerful incarnation of your being up to that point in time. So, if you can take, it will not take you more than 20 minutes of a very focused segment of time. If you can just take that 20 minutes between now and before the calendar turns, of anchoring certain happenings and experiences that came together in almost a miraculous, magical way during 2020, they will be the completion anchoring. And many of these have occurred on the banks of the river Ganges. A couple of these have occurred in the mountains. And in each of those occurrences, you were by yourself, if that helps. That's the gift of 2020. 2021 is an emergence of you into this new incarnation, which bridges the material and spiritual with ease, joy, and grace. So thank you for showing up, and thank you for making some pretty tough choices and moving forward. You are in your stride. So keep going. So Karthik, the gift of 2020 for you is a gift of certainty. It's like all the confusion, clutter, cloudiness, like literally got taken out of your body, of your cells, of your intellect, of your in your field. And all there is to do is to own up to what is showing up with this clarity, because 2021 is a year you become an inspired leader that is a role model for your colleagues and for a new resurgence of leadership for budding entrepreneurs in Northern India. So it was a very good choice for you to step into this next phase of your life where you'll play a big role in North India. And it'll grow from there. It's one more person. Thank you, Karthik, for showing up and doing the work and trusting. It's difficult for me to choose one. I have. Highly. The gift of 2020 for you is a gift of vibrant vitality. And yes, it's physical, but it literally is vibrant vitality and in all the cylinders of full spectrum living: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and environmental. Some you have leveraged. You have leveraged the physical vibrant vitality you have. And there is an emotional vibrant vitality which you have also leveraged to some extent. And there's a mental strength that is there. There's a mental clarity and focus that you have experienced, but you haven't leveraged the vibrant vitality to its fullest in terms of your mental intellect. And on the social and environmental side, you haven't even scratched the surface there. So, my invitation to you would be, just so that we anchor all of this in our being between now and before the calendar turns, is just notice, because you've had experiences in each of these areas of what that feels like when you are embracing and embodying vibrant vitality. So just take a few moments to jot down certain memories, certain recollections of what occurred in 2020, where you saw this evidence of vibrant vitality and you firing on the physical cylinder, where you saw the evidence of vibrant vitality in your mental cylinder, in your emotional cylinder, in your spiritual cylinder. There are many very potent experiences that you've had during your journey into miracles. So you'll get a number of them there. And then there are others also. You will notice how some of the people that you work with, how some of the moments will come from their reaction to you, and that will be an evidence of vibrant vitality in one or several of the cylinders. Okay. Now, by asking you to do this work, and this is for everyone where I've said make a list or anything like that. By asking you to do that, I'm really anchoring mind, brain, gut, which is yours. Because you are your best teacher. You are the guru that you have been waiting for. By you saying, okay, got it, lesson complete, that it's a very important aspect of flowing in flow. I have said it many times that you are the guru that you've been waiting for to many people. And when we give our power away to something else outside of us, there is an element of us being in our flow, fully whole and complete, gets taken out. And I'm saying this to you, Lee, but it really is a message for everyone. It may feel very emotional as you do this, but it'll be a very yummy, juicy, emotional. There may be a couple of yucky experiences, but you'll have a laugh about them. It's well worth doing. Okay, we're going to go straight into repeating the human vibe attunement chant with me as we anchor all of this for everyone. And there will be other times where I'll be guided to, take you through what the gift of 2020 is for you that you can leverage. So just take a deep breath in, breathe into the count of 9, hold to the count of 4, breathe out to the count of 6. So breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And repeat after me. This is your soul being making this declaration. We are going to do it 3 times. The first time it is your soul being. The second time it is your human form. And the third time it is the 2 together. So let's begin. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I acknowledge myself as a human. I receive myself as a human. I accept myself as a human. I anchor the human within humanity. I anchor the human within humanity. I anchor the human within humanity. Breathe in 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold 2, 3, 4. Breathe out 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take your hands and bring them in a namaste, where the base of your palm is by your heart and the tips of your fingers are towards your throat. You are anchoring in the now, the honoring of you and your divinity in the now through the heart. And you are honoring the expression of you in your divinity through your throat. Rub your hands against each other. Put them over your eyes, open your eyes in them. Take them on top of your head, the back of your head, either side of your neck, down your shoulders, and do an empty sweep and blow. Well, the human vibe attunement, the beyond meditation is complete. If you need to be somewhere, please go ahead and leave the gathering. And just in the chat, go ahead and put one word of what you're present to that you would love to share. We will have the next pearl of wisdom. So for all of you that are in the US, you have this this extra little piece that gets done before the calendar turns. And this pearl of wisdom is about harvesting the bounty. So in this, I'll be talking about discovering what is the bounty. Some of it we know, a lot of it we don't even realize. And then what does it take? Harvesting it. I mean, I was just thinking, harvesting bounty. I mean, it's not a field. Why can't we just gather the bounty? But there is an act of harvesting, which is different. It's quite distinct. There's a consciousness that a harvester brings to it. So it's that consciousness, that translates into action that we will apply to the bounty. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that. I love doing this work because I get a little bit of a preview beforehand. So it's good fun. So join us at 5:30 Pacific time, and I know it's New Year's Eve and all. And I'll be here. It'll be early in the morning, 5:30 a.m. for me after Christmas, after New Year's Day celebrations. So after a couple of hours of rest time, I guess, I'll be there with you. So thank you all. Let me remove my spotlight. And I'm just removing the security that allows you to unmute yourself. Thank you so much for being here. Wow, so much. My goodness, I don't think I'll be able to read them all. I'm just anchoring everything that you have written. I'm going to capture this chat and I'm going to share it in our group because there are so many things here. Oh, thank you. Really deep acknowledgement of the present of you, each one of you showing up in such a powerful, loving way during this time. We've done good, says Spirit, in showing up and doing this work. Yeah, unity, gratitude, and peace. Gratitude. Wow, the deepest gratitude, Mynoo. Thank you. Received, magnificent majesty, joy, surrender, and love. Happy New Year, everyone. So sacred and special. Thank you, Mynoo. Happy New Year to you all. And it's really perfect to say Happy New Year because New Year energy vibe has been anchored on the planet with, Australia, and it's moving in this direction. So that current of rejoicing and celebration of the flowing energy is happening. Our trajectory of 2020 is touching the ocean and it's starting to mingle into the ocean. Thank you, Mynoo, for graceful entry into 2020. You're so welcome, Joanne. Thank you. Peaceful New Year to each and everyone. Hugs, deep gratitude. Thank you, Mynoo, for all that you have shared. Deep gratitude, Jill. I'm a vessel of fulfillment of the divine plan, and it's my privilege, really, to do that. With gratitude, love, and blessings to all. Thank you, Mynoo. Excited for the journey and things to come. Yes, indeed, Daniela. Happy New Year to all. Thank you all for your gifts and your beauty and endless love, full of wonder. Yes, Kathleen. I can imagine Kathleen in wonderment. Wow. You've been, exposed to the best of the best in the world with Pixar and Star Wars and stuff. Thanks so much for all the miracles experience. Wish you a miraculous 2020 and I wish you the same to all of you. Gratitude, namaste, Mynoo, Happy New Year and decade, everyone. Indeed, Mary, what a good reminder. It is a start of a new decade and, 2021 is 2021. Which is the year that humans got emancipated and emerged. Thank you for the generous gift today. Thank you, Janice. Happy, blessed New Year. Wow. Patience, witnessing, acknowledging, with listening. Beautiful. Yes, Mary, will be wonderful if you join are so deeply anchored, so clear in the lessons and the path of thriving fully and completely with this grace and joy. And thank you, Justin, for sharing the notes, and thank you for very, deeply doing the work. I've had private messages from people who've been doing the work of dismantling distractions, and it's pretty profound, as people have been doing it in Thailand, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa. Justin, you shared yours. Asha, you shared your journey. If you haven't done it, it doesn't take long. Go do it. It's pretty powerful. Flowing gratitude. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yes, same meeting ID as well. Um, and yeah, if you wish to invite more people to the Harvesting the Bounty Pearl of Wisdom, please go ahead and do that. And on Saturday, Beyond Meditation, I'm actually going to talk about everything that you need to know at this point about 2021. So that's what Saturday is. So please go ahead and share with whoever you think might be interested and should know about what 2021 is about. Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you.